We have seen how the strides of the East India Company found its destination from eastern to southern India. No wonder the revolutions would also follow the tracks of the oppressors. I am Kaushik Mazumdar and welcome to the Revolution Untold Story of Indian Freedom Struggle. Polygar was an administrative title assigned to those responsible for maintaining the law and order as well as administration under the Nayak rules. Though it is arguable to include Polygar Wars in the context of tribal revolts, these anti-British battles hold one of the most important places in the history of regional uprising against the British. Marudu Pandiyan of Shiv Ganga, one of the most eminent rebel leaders of the time, was engaged in the organization of a South Indian confederacy. He appealed to all sections of the people to unite and fight till the end of alien rule in India. Rebel leaders of Thanjavur, Ramnad and Kallars of Madurai accepted the leadership of Marudu Pandiyan. In the eastern region of Tirunelveli, Vira Pandya Kattabomman took an active part in the rebellious cause. The collector of Ramnad, Mr. Lushington, tried his best to prohibit their communications, but failed to stop them. They eventually met and made effective proposals against the alien rule. Polygars of Nagalapuram, Mannarkottai, Pawali, Kolanpatti and Chennulgudi, who had already formed themselves into a combination of polygars, joined Kattabomman and Marudu Pandya. By September 1798, the tribute from Panchalam Kurichi fell in arrears, and the collector of Ramnath, Colin Jackson, asked him to pay the arrears immediately. But Kattabomman refused to give up on the collector's demand. Soon after, Tipu Sultan had fallen on 5th September in 1799. Major Bannerman led a force of some 400 Europeans and 2 battalions of Shipais with a detachment of the Bengal artillery against the fort at Panjalam Kurichi. The initial war between the British and Kattabomman Nayak in the Tirunelveli region is famously known as the First Polygar War. Bannerman army was joined by the troops stationed at Koalpatti and Kayathar and surrounded the fort of Panchalam Kurichi. Major Bannerman ordered the Polygar to surrender. But the Polygar were not ready to surrender. This led to a fierce battle, causing the loss of men on either side. The British army had to retreat, giving Kattabomman and his men enough scope to escape. The British army, led by Lieutenant Dallas and Captain O'Reilly, met the forces of Kattabomman at the fort of Kolarpatti, where some skirmishes ensued in which both parties sustained considerable loss. However, the followers of Kattabomman dispersed, but the British forces managed to capture one of the Kattabomman's principal dependents, Subramania Pillai. Subramania Pillai was hung in the most conspicuous part of the village of Nagalapuram, and his head afterward carried and fixed on a pike at Panchalam Kurichi. In the meantime, Kattabomman was caught in the jungles of Kolhapura in Pudukottai. On 16th October, Kattabomman was executed in the presence of other polygars. But the flame that Kattabomman lit was far from subdued. One of his 2 brothers, who managed to escape from Palamkutta in February 1801, popularly known as Oomaithurai, a brave and reputed fighter, led the people of Panchalam Kurichi to renew the fight against the British. In a remarkably short period, they rebuilt the fort and formed a 1,500-strong garrison to man it. After multiple altercations with the British army, led by Major Macaulay, on 21st May, Colonel Agnew took charge of the assault with a massive British army of almost 3,000 men armed with a large train full of artillery. In the aftermath of the battle, the Madras army lost nearly 200 men, though the losses faced by the Polygars were much more. They were yet to give up. Ultimately, by October of 1801, Oomaithurai and his brother were captured at Shivganga and brought to Panchalamkurichi to be hanged on 16th November 1801. This was the Second Polygar War. Though this short-lived struggle for freedom was famously highlighted as a South Indian rebellion, the Polygar Rebellion was in its own right the first insurrection in the country to grow beyond the regional scale. Along with the Polygars from different parts of southern India, the alliance extended to some Sardars and Nizams of Hyderabad, and even some of the Maratha chiefs, including Daulat Rao Scindia, directly and indirectly supported the uprising. We will soon come back with another episode describing the next phase of the peasants and tribal movement. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy.